Before we dive into this story, leave a comment and let us know what city you're watching from. And don't forget to rate the story from 0 to 10 at the end. The cathedral smelled of white roses and old money. Sophia's heels clicked against marble as she slipped through the wrong door, late and lost. The organ swelled. Hundreds of guests stood, their eyes fixed on something behind her. She'd crashed the wrong wedding. The bride swept past, fury radiating from every step. She stopped mid-aisle, her voice cutting through the sacred silence. "I can't marry a man who's been sleeping with my cousin." The collective gasp nearly shook the stained glass. Sophia pressed herself against the pew, desperate to disappear. The groom at the altar turned crimson. The bride ripped off her veil, revealing sharp cheekbones and fiercer eyes. "Victoria, you're being hysterical," the groom stammered. "I'm being honest. Something you've forgotten how to do." Chaos erupted. Whispers became shouts. Victoria's train swirled as she turned, striding back down the aisle. Directly toward Sophia. Those green eyes locked onto hers with terrifying precision. You're coming with me." "I'm sorry, what?" Victoria grabbed her hand, grip iron beneath silk gloves. "I need a witness." "You're already dressed for it." "I'm at the wrong wedding. I don't even know you." "Perfect. That means you're the only honest person here." They were almost to the exit when a voice sliced through the noise. "Stop." Everyone froze. Sophia turned with the crowd. A man emerged from the shadows near the altar. Tall, dark suit perfectly tailored, presence like gravity itself. His face was all sharp angles and controlled danger. Eyes the color of winter storms fixed on Victoria, then shifted to Sophia. "The bride can leave if she wishes," he said, voice smooth as expensive whiskey. "But the girl in lavender stays." Sophia's heart stopped. "Excuse me?" He moved down the aisle with predatory grace. "You walked into my cousin's wedding. Witnessed the dissolution of a carefully arranged alliance. You think you can simply walk away? Your cousin?" Sophia looked at Victoria, who had gone pale. "Adrian Blackwood," Victoria whispered. "Of course he's here." Adrian stopped 3 feet away. Up close, he was devastating. Scar cutting through his left eyebrow, jaw that could have been carved from stone. But it was his eyes that trapped her, reading secrets she didn't know she had. "Who are you?" he asked quietly. Dangerous quietly. "Nobody. I'm nobody. I took a wrong turn. Wrong turns don't happen in my family without consequences." He looked at Victoria. "You're free to go. The engagement is dissolved. But this one," his gaze returned to Sophia, "she stays until we determine what kind of liability she represents. You can't keep me here. I'm not part of your world." Something flickered in those winter eyes. Almost like approval. "You are now," Adrian said. Then, loud enough for every guest to hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce my fiancée. We've kept our relationship private, but given today's circumstances, there's no point in hiding anymore." The cathedral erupted. Sophia's vision blurred. "I'm not your fiancé." Adrian leaned close, his breath warm against her ear. "You have 2 choices. Play along and I'll explain everything. Or refuse, and I'll make sure everyone here believes you're a tabloid journalist who orchestrated this entire disaster." Sophia's hands shook. This couldn't be happening. "Why?" she whispered. His expression was unreadable. "Because the girl who walks into the wrong wedding wearing the wrong dress might be exactly what I need." He took her hand. The cathedral watched. Victoria had already disappeared. And Sophia realized she'd just become engaged to a complete stranger. A stranger whose touch burned like a brand and whose secrets felt heavy enough to crush them both. The penthouse overlooked Manhattan like a kingdom. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city in gold and shadow. Sophia stood in the center of Adrian's living room, still wearing lavender, still shaking. "You kidnapped me." Adrian poured whiskey into crystal glasses. "I saved you from a very public interrogation. There's a difference. You announced a fake engagement. I announced a solution." He handed her a glass. "Drink. You look like you need it." She didn't touch it. "What do you want from me?" Adrian studied her with those unsettling eyes. "My family has operated under certain rules for 3 generations. Alliances through marriage. Business through bloodlines. Victoria was supposed to marry Charles, merge 2 fortunes, secure our position. She chose honesty instead. She chose chaos." He drank his whiskey in one smooth motion. "The wedding was witnessed by every major player in Manhattan's financial district. My family's reputation depends on appearances. A failed engagement looks like weakness. So you grabbed the nearest warm body and called her your fiancée?" Something dark flickered across his face. "I chose someone who doesn't know the rules yet. Someone who might actually keep me honest. You don't know anything about me. I know you crashed a wedding looking for your friend. I know you're not wearing a ring or designer clothes. I know you tried to leave rather than watch a stranger's humiliation. That tells me everything." Sophia finally took the whiskey. It burned going down. "This is insane. I'm offering you a contract. 6 months. You pretend to be my fiancé. Appear at events. Convince my family you're real. In return, I'll pay you $2 million. The glass nearly slipped from her fingers. $2 million. Plus expenses. Wardrobe, housing, transportation. You'll move into the guest wing here. Separate space, complete privacy." He moved closer. "I need someone my family will believe. Someone genuine. The girl in the wrong dress at the wrong wedding is perfect. Why 6 months? Long enough to stabilize our public image. Short enough to end quietly when business is secured." His voice dropped. "I'm not asking you to love me, Sophia. I'm asking you to be visible. How do you know my name?" He pulled out her driver's license. She must have dropped her purse during the chaos. Queens. Barista at a coffee shop in Midtown. Student loans. Late rent. He set the license down gently. $2 million would change your life. It would erase everything. Every debt, every sleepless night, every compromise she'd made. What's the catch? Adrian's smile was sharp. My family plays for keeps. They'll investigate you, test you, try to break you. My mother will hate you on principle. My brother will try to seduce you. And the press will devour every second. Sounds delightful. It will be a nightmare, he agreed. But a profitable one. Sophia walked to the window. The city sprawled beneath her, glittering and distant. What if I say no? Then I'll drive you back to Queens, and you'll never see me again. She turned. You'd really let me go? Something haunted crossed his expression. I've built my life on contracts and arrangements. But I won't trap you in one against your will. The honesty surprised her. She studied him, this stranger who'd claimed her in front of hundreds. Underneath the tailored suit and calculated control, she saw exhaustion. Something broken that he'd learned to hide. Why me? She asked again. Really? Adrian was quiet for a long moment. Because when Victoria walked out, I saw my future. Years of arrangements. Decades of performances. A life built on everything except truth. He looked at her directly. You walked into the wrong wedding by accident. I've been in the wrong life by design. Maybe we can help each other. Sophia's heart hammered. This was crazy. Dangerous. Everything rational screamed to run. But $2 million meant freedom. And something in Adrian's winter eyes felt like recognition. 6 months, she said slowly. With rules. Name them. No touching unless absolutely necessary for appearances. Separate bedrooms. Complete honesty between us, even if we lie to everyone else. She met his gaze. And when it's over, we walk away clean. No complications. Adrian extended his hand. Deal. She took it. His grip was firm, warm. A current ran between them that felt nothing like a business arrangement. When do we start? Sophia asked. Tomorrow night. Family dinner. You'll meet the people who will spend 6 months trying to destroy you. Can't wait. His smile was almost genuine. For what it's worth, you're the most interesting thing that's happened to this family in years. That's not reassuring. It wasn't meant to be. The door burst open. A woman swept in, designer heels clicking, platinum hair perfect, eyes like ice chips. Adrian, darling, what is this absurd rumor about a secret engagement? Adrian didn't flinch. Mother. Meet Sophia. My fiancée. The woman's gaze cut through Sophia like a scalpel. The girl from the wedding disaster. How wonderfully convenient. Sophia felt every muscle tense. But she forced herself to smile. Lovely to meet you, Mrs. Blackwood. It's Catherine. And we'll see how lovely things remain. Catherine's smile was poison wrapped in pearls. Dinner is at 7 tomorrow. Don't be late, dear. The family is dying to meet you. She left like a winter storm. Adrian poured more whiskey. Still want that 2 million? Sophia took the glass. More than ever. He laughed, surprised and genuine. It transformed his face completely. And Sophia realized she'd just signed a deal with the devil wearing a perfect suit. The question was which one of them would burn first. 3 months passed like a fever dream. Sophia learned to wear diamonds like armor. To smile through charity galas while Adrian's hand rested on her lower back, burning through silk. To navigate conversations with people who treated money like oxygen and ruthlessness like virtue. The family tested her constantly. Catherine's cutting remarks at every dinner. Adrian's brother Marcus circling like a shark, offering private drinks and knowing smiles. Business partners asking questions designed to trip her up. But Sophia had grown up fighting. And Adrian had taught her the language they spoke. Don't apologize, he'd said one night, coaching her before an important gala. Apologies are admissions of weakness. Match their energy. Meet their eyes. Make them believe you belong here more than they do. What if I don't believe it? Fake it. That's what everyone else is doing. She'd laughed. He'd almost smiled. The distance between them was shrinking dangerously. Tonight was the Blackwood Foundation Gala. 1,000 guests, every major publication, speeches and champagne and the family's reputation on full display. Sophia wore midnight blue, diamonds at her throat that cost more than her childhood home. Adrian appeared in her doorway, devastating in black tie. Ready? To be judged by Manhattan's elite? Absolutely. His mouth quirked. You've gotten better at this. I had a good teacher. Something passed between them. Not part of the contract. Not safe. Sophia, he started, then stopped. Never mind. Let's go perform. The ballroom was ice sculptures and crystal chandeliers. 1,000 faces turned as they entered. Sophia had learned not to flinch. She smiled, her hand in Adrian's, playing the role she'd been paid to play. Except it didn't feel like playing anymore. Marcus found them immediately, champagne in hand, smile sharp. The happy couple. How touching. Marcus. Adrian's tone held a warning. Sophia, you look ravishing. My brother has excellent taste, even if it's temporary. Sophia's grip on her champagne flute tightened. Temporary? Oh, did he not tell you? About Rebecca? Adrian went rigid. Marcus, don't. Rebecca Sinclair. Adrian's actual fiancée. The one he was supposed to marry before she died 3 years ago. Marcus's eyes glittered with malice. The one he's never gotten over. You're just the placeholder, sweetheart. The warm body filling a cold space. The ballroom tilted. Sophia looked at Adrian, whose face had gone to stone. Is that true? We need to talk. Privately. Is it true? Her voice cracked. Yes. But not the way he's making it sound. Marcus laughed. He's been in love with a ghost for 3 years. You really think you matter? This whole engagement is a performance. You're the hired help. That's enough. Adrian's voice could have shattered glass. But the damage was done. Sophia set down her champagne, her hands shaking. Excuse me. I need air. She walked away, past whispers and stares, through French doors onto a terrace overlooking the city. The night air bit cold. Adrian followed. Sophia, please. You never mentioned her. It wasn't relevant. Wasn't relevant? She spun to face him. You hired me to be your fake fiancé, knowing you were still mourning your real one. That feels pretty relevant. His jaw tightened. Rebecca died in a car accident 3 years ago. Yes, we were engaged. Yes, I loved her. But this arrangement with you has nothing to do with her memory. Doesn't it? The perfect contract. No emotions. No complications. Just business. Tears burned her eyes. I'm not even a replacement. I'm a placeholder. You're not. Then what am I, Adrian? Because somewhere in the last 3 months, I forgot this was fake. I started believing in this. In us. And you've just been using me to avoid dealing with your grief. He stepped closer, anguish breaking through his control. You think I haven't noticed? You think I haven't felt it? Every time you laugh at my terrible jokes. Every time you stand up to my mother. Every time you look at me like I'm not just a contract or an obligation. Then why didn't you tell me? Because I'm terrified, he said, raw and honest. Rebecca's death nearly destroyed me. I rebuilt myself on control and distance. No emotions. No risk. Then you walked into that cathedral in a lavender dress, and everything I'd carefully constructed started cracking. Sophia's breath caught. Adrian. I should have told you. I know that. But I didn't know how to explain that you're not filling Rebecca's space. You're creating an entirely new one. She wanted to believe him. But Marcus's words echoed. Placeholder. Hired help. How do I know this isn't part of the performance? How do I know anything between us is real? Adrian looked at her with those winter storm eyes, now burning with something fierce. Because I'm about to break our contract. He kissed her. Not for show. Not for cameras. Just for them. It was desperate and honest and nothing like business. His hands cupped her face like she was precious. Her fingers tangled in his hair. The city disappeared. The contract disappeared. Everything except this. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Adrian rested his forehead against hers. That was real. This is real. Whatever started as an arrangement has become something I don't know how to name. Sophia's heart hammered. The contract said no complications. Too late. A flash blinded them. They turned to see a photographer disappearing into the ballroom, camera in hand. Did he just dash? Sophia started. Yes. Adrian's expression hardened. And by tomorrow, that photo will be everywhere. Is that a problem? Only if you're not actually mine. She looked at him, this broken man who'd hidden behind contracts and control. Who'd claimed her as his own in a cathedral full of strangers. Who'd just shattered his own rules to kiss her like she was oxygen. I'm not yours according to any contract, Sophia said slowly. His face fell. But maybe I could be. If you asked me properly. Hope flickered in his eyes. Sophia Bennett, will you dash? Adrian. Catherine's voice cut through the night. She stood in the doorway, face white with fury. Inside. Now. We have a situation. They followed her to a private room. The entire family waited. Catherine, Marcus, the board members. All staring at a laptop screen. Care to explain this? Catherine turned the screen. Sophia's blood went cold. It was a document. A contract. The real contract. Every clause, every payment, every detail of their fake engagement displayed for all to see. Someone leaked it to the press, Catherine said, voice like ice. In 30 minutes, the world will know your relationship is a purchased lie. The family will be humiliated. The foundation will lose donors. Stock prices will crash. She looked at Sophia with pure hatred. Tell me. Was $2 million worth destroying everything Adrian has built? Sophia couldn't breathe. I didn't. I would never. Then who did? Catherine demanded. They all looked at each other. The answer hung in the air, unspoken. Someone in this room had betrayed them. And Sophia realized the real game was just beginning. The silence in the room was suffocating. Adrian's fingers flew across his phone. The article goes live in 28 minutes. We need to decide how to respond. The decision is obvious. Catherine's voice cut like a blade. Sophia leaves. Immediately. We claim she was a con artist who manipulated my son. We pursue legal action and distance ourselves completely. No. Adrian's tone brooked no argument. This scandal will destroy us. Throwing Sophia to the wolves will destroy us worse. It makes us look like victims. Weak. Marcus leaned against the wall, watching with barely concealed satisfaction. For what it's worth, I think Sophia's innocent. The leak came from inside our systems. Someone with access. All eyes turned to him. How convenient that you mention that, Catherine said coldly. Given your opposition to this entire arrangement. I've been open about my concerns. But I wouldn't sabotage the family. His smile was sharp. Not publicly, anyway. Adrian moved like lightning, grabbing Marcus by his collar. If you did this, I will personally destroy you. It wasn't him. Sophia's voice surprised everyone, including herself. Marcus enjoys watching chaos, but he's too smart to create it. This benefits someone outside this room. Brilliant deduction, Catherine snapped. But it doesn't solve our problem. Sophia's mind raced. 3 months of learning how this family operated. How they thought. How they survived. What if we don't deny it, she said slowly. Everyone stared. The contract proves our engagement was arranged. So we lean into it. Arranged marriages happen in wealthy families all the time. We say yes, it started as business, but it became real. No one will believe that, Catherine said. They will if we give them proof. Sophia looked at Adrian. The photographer caught us kissing. That wasn't staged. That was real. We use it. Adrian's expression was unreadable. You want to tell the truth? A version of it. We acknowledge the contract. Explain it was your mother's idea to stabilize the family after Victoria's disaster. A proper alliance with proper terms. She met Catherine's eyes. You spin it as protecting your son's interests. Making sure any future match was beneficial. Catherine's eyes narrowed. Blaming me? Giving you control of the narrative. You become the mastermind, not the victim. Powerful, not embarrassed. Silence stretched. Then Catherine laughed, sharp and surprised. You clever little thing. You'd sacrifice your own reputation to save ours? I'd sacrifice the lie to protect the truth. That somewhere in this arrangement, something real happened. Adrian was staring at her like he'd never seen her before. 20 minutes, Marcus reminded them. Catherine straightened. Fine. We use the girl's plan. I'll handle the PR, frame it as an intelligent business arrangement that evolved naturally. She looked at Sophia. But this means you're in completely. No backing out. No running. You'll face every camera, every question, every attack. Can you handle that? Sophia thought of her quiet life in Queens. Her simple dreams. The safety she'd be giving up. Then she looked at Adrian. Yes. Then we move. Now. Catherine swept from the room, already on her phone. The others followed. Sophia and Adrian remained. You didn't have to do that, he said quietly. Yes, I did. This will get ugly. The press will tear you apart. Dig into every corner of your life. You'll lose your privacy, your anonymity. Everything. I know. Why? He searched her face. Why would you sacrifice all of that for me? Sophia stepped closer. Because 3 months ago, I walked into the wrong wedding. And for the first time in my life, I ended up exactly where I was supposed to be. His hands framed her face. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you're stuck with me anyway. He kissed her again, softer this time. Like a promise. When they broke apart, his phone buzzed. A message from Catherine. Article is live. Counternarrative deployed. Get to the ballroom. Time to face the music. They walked back together, fingers intertwined. The ballroom had transformed into a feeding frenzy. Phones everywhere. Reporters shouting questions. Cameras flashing like lightning. Catherine stood at the center, commanding attention. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, my son's engagement began as a business arrangement. I make no apologies for protecting my family's interests. But what started as strategy became something far more valuable. Love. Real. Unexpected. Powerful. She gestured to Adrian and Sophia. They're here to answer your questions. The questions came like arrows. Sophia answered each one, Adrian's hand steady in hers. Yes, there was a contract. Yes, money was involved. No, that didn't make their feelings less real. An hour later, the worst had passed. The narrative had shifted. Arranged engagement becomes real love. Cold business becomes warm romance. The press ate it up. Sophia excused herself to the bathroom, needing a moment to breathe. She was washing her hands when her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Nice performance. But you should know the real betrayal isn't what you think. Check Adrian's office. Top drawer. Red folder. The truth will destroy everything. A friend. Her hands went numb. She shouldn't look. Should show Adrian immediately. But something cold settled in her stomach. She slipped away from the gala, took the private elevator to Adrian's penthouse office. Her hands shook as she opened the drawer. The red folder was exactly where the text said. Inside were documents, dates, transfers, and a contract she'd never seen before. It was between Adrian and a private investigator. Dated 4 months ago. 1 month before the wedding. The investigator's mission: find someone suitable for a fake engagement. Someone desperate enough to agree. Someone with no connections to their world. Someone disposable. The investigation had targeted her specifically. Her financial struggles. Her student debt. Her isolation after Riley moved away. Adrian had known everything about her before she walked into that cathedral. The wrong wedding hadn't been wrong at all. It had been planned. The folder slipped from her fingers. Papers scattered across his desk. And underneath them, one more document. A termination clause. After 6 months, when the engagement ended, Adrian would pay her the promised amount. Plus an additional $5 million. In exchange for one condition: complete silence. No interviews. No tell-alls. No contact with Adrian or anyone in his world ever again. The door opened behind her. Sophia. Adrian's voice. Carefully calm. What are you doing in here? She turned, tears streaming down her face. You planned it. All of it. You knew I'd be desperate. Knew I'd say yes. The wrong wedding, the wrong dress, all of it was orchestrated. His face went pale. It's not what you think. Then explain this. She held up the investigator's report. Explain how you researched me. Targeted me. Planned to throw me away when you were done. I can explain. Please do. Because from where I'm standing, I just sacrificed everything for a man who's been manipulating me from the very beginning. Adrian opened his mouth. But before he could speak, Catherine appeared in the doorway. Well, she said coldly. This is unfortunate timing. Sophia looked between them. You knew. Of course you knew. It was my idea, Catherine said calmly. Adrian needed someone controllable. I found you. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. Not just Adrian. All of them. I defended you, Sophia whispered. I protected you. I gave up everything. And you'll be compensated handsomely for it. Catherine's smile was ice. The contract is clear. 6 months. Then you disappear with $7 million and a lovely story to tell your grandchildren. Assuming you sign the non-disclosure agreement. Sophia looked at Adrian, who hadn't spoken. Whose face was carved from stone. Say something, she begged. Tell me there was something real. Anything real. He met her eyes. And what she saw there broke her completely. Guilt. Calculation. And beneath it all, the careful control of a man who'd built his life on arrangements. I'm sorry, he said finally. But business is business. Sophia's world shattered. She walked past them both, past the gala, past the cameras and questions and glittering lie of it all. She left Adrian Blackwood's world exactly the way she'd entered it. Lost. Alone. And wearing the wrong dress. 2 weeks later, Sophia sat in her old apartment in Queens. The check for $7 million lay on her coffee table, unsigned. The NDA sat beside it. She hadn't answered her phone. Hadn't watched the news. Hadn't done anything except exist in the hollow space where her heart used to be. Rain hammered against the window. New York City looked gray and distant. The knock on her door was so quiet she almost missed it. She opened it to find Adrian standing in the hallway, soaked through, looking like he hadn't slept in days. You shouldn't be here, she said. I know. Your mother's contract says no contact. I'm breaking the contract. Sophia's chest tightened. Why? Adrian's hands shook. Because everything I said in that office was a lie. Because I've spent 2 weeks trying to convince myself that walking away was the right thing. Because I can't anymore. I saw the documents. The investigation. The termination clause. All real, he admitted. But incomplete. He pulled out his phone, opened a file, handed it to her. It was an email chain. Between Adrian and the investigator. Dated weeks before the wedding. I need you to find someone specific. Someone genuine. Someone who's been beaten down by this city but hasn't lost her kindness. Someone who still believes in honesty even when the world punishes her for it. Sophia's hands trembled as she scrolled. Not just desperate. Strong. The kind of strength that doesn't come from money or privilege. The kind that comes from surviving. The investigator had found 3 candidates. Adrian had chosen Sophia. But the next email made her breath catch. Once I find her, I need you to make sure she ends up at St. Catherine's Cathedral on the day of Victoria's wedding. But she can't know it's planned. It has to feel like fate. Because if she thinks for 1 second this is manipulation, I'll lose the only real thing I'll ever have. I chose you, Adrian said quietly. Not because you were disposable. Because you were everything I'd lost. Everything I thought died with Rebecca. But the termination clause. The money to disappear. Written by my mother without my knowledge. I found out the same night you did. When I saw your face, saw the betrayal, I had 2 choices. Tell the truth and fight my family publicly. Or let you believe the lie and keep you safe from them. So you chose the lie. I chose to protect you. From Catherine. From the press. From a life that would have consumed you. His voice broke. I chose your freedom over my happiness. Tears blurred Sophia's vision. You let me hate you. Better you hate me than let my family destroy you. The leak, the documents, all of it was Catherine's doing. She wanted you gone. Controlled. The moment you became real to me, you became a threat to her. Why are you telling me this now? Adrian stepped closer. Because 2 weeks of living without you has been hell. Because every arranged meeting, every business dinner, every carefully controlled moment feels empty. Because I've spent my entire life in the wrong place, playing the wrong role. Until a girl in a lavender dress walked into the wrong wedding and showed me what truth actually looks like. Sophia's heart hammered. Your mother will never accept this. I don't care. I've already dissolved her position on the board. Restructured the company. She has no power over me anymore. He took her hands. I'm not asking you to come back to that world. I'm asking if you'll let me leave it. What are you saying? I'm saying I'll walk away from all of it. The money, the company, the penthouse, everything. I'll move to Queens. Work a normal job. Build a normal life. His eyes burned with intensity. If you'll have me. Adrian, you can't just abandon everything. Watch me. He pulled out another document. I've already signed over my shares to Marcus. Set up trust funds for the foundation. This penthouse belongs to you if you want it. I kept nothing except this. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside was a ring. Not diamonds. Not excessive. Just a simple gold band with a small sapphire. It was my grandmother's. The only person in my family who married for love. His voice shook. Sophia Bennett, I'm not offering you a contract. I'm offering you my heart. Messy, broken, and completely yours. Will you marry me? For real this time? Sophia looked at this man who'd orchestrated their meeting but fallen genuinely. Who'd lied to protect her. Who was willing to sacrifice everything for a chance at something real. I have conditions, she whispered. Anything. No more secrets. No more manipulation. Complete honesty even when it's ugly. Done. We build something new. Not your world or mine. Ours. Yes. And you have to promise that when I walk into the wrong place at the wrong time, you won't try to control it. You'll just walk with me. Adrian's smile was broken and beautiful. I promise. Sophia took the ring. Slipped it on her finger. For the record, I never signed your mother's contract. I never took the money. And I never stopped loving you, even when I hated you. He kissed her like a man who'd been drowning and just found air. She kissed him back like someone who'd finally found home. When they broke apart, Adrian rested his forehead against hers. Where do we go from here? Sophia laughed, surprising them both. I have no idea. We're both completely lost. Perfect, Adrian said. Let's be lost together. 6 months later, they married in a small chapel in Brooklyn. No cathedral. No 500 guests. No string quartet playing old money symphonies. Just Riley as maid of honor. Marcus as best man, reformed and surprisingly supportive. A handful of friends. And a judge who pronounced them husband and wife with simple sincerity. Victoria showed up, uninvited but welcome. I heard you two crashed my disaster and made something beautiful. Seemed only fair I crash your happiness. They laughed. All of them. Free and genuine and real. As Adrian and Sophia walked down the aisle together, she squeezed his hand. You know what's funny, she said. What? If I'd made it to Riley's wedding on time, none of this would have happened. I would have missed you completely. Adrian smiled. Good thing you're terrible with directions. Good thing you're excellent at manipulating fate. Not manipulation. Just helping fate along. She kissed him. Still sounds like manipulation. Does it matter? Sophia looked at her husband, her partner, her fellow traveler in beautiful chaos. Not even a little bit. They stepped out into Brooklyn sunshine. No cameras. No contracts. No carefully arranged alliances. Just two people who'd walked into the wrong place at exactly the right time. And found each other in the wreckage of everyone else's carefully laid plans. Sometimes the wrong wedding leads to the right life. Sometimes getting lost is the only way to be found. And sometimes the best love stories start with a girl in a lavender dress, crashing a stranger's disaster, and ending up with forever. The end. What city are you watching from? Rate this story from 0 to 10 in the comments below.